Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Gold Mercy. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. If you want to see more of this stuff, definitely gotta like and subscribe. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. In there, you can see what the rates for coaching look like. You can see what sort of promos, events we have going on, like yesterday's server scrims, all that good stuff. Okay, so here we have our Mercy practicing super jumps. Reasonably consistent when not under pressure. Yeah. Consistent when not under pressure. Good.
Damage increased.
Okay, so on our team we have an Ashe and a Hanzo. Hanzo's got the most aggressive positioning, trying to boost the Hanzo. Definitely don't need to be boosting this. I mean, you're looking for the Fire Strike. I get it. Yeah, okay, fine.
Damage amplified. Where does it
Let's make sure we're set here. So here you are. Why? Why did we go vertical here? Like, yes, you can super jump. That's cool. It's cool that you can super jump. Is that better for you than being here, where you're in cover behind the opponents? Or going here, where you've got high ground against the opponents, but can see a little more of your team? Like, why was this the right place to go? Are you confident? Is it a, hey, I know what is on the opposing team? Let's watch back here. Do you have full knowledge of what the opposing team is yet?
Defend objective A.
There's the Lucio. You can hear the Genji.
damage amplified. Where does it hurt?
And you can see the Pharah. Okay. Going vertical isn't the worst thing in the world. You know that there's no sort of hit scan on the opposing team at this point. You can flip over there for the heals. You slid across that roof, which does make you a pretty easy shot for Pharah.
Support me. Damage
Who's your
increased.
support partner? Anna, okay. Can we look this way? Can we look this way? Like, we can hit this jump and still look this way faster to see if there's a threat. Like, we do still want to sort of look in this direction to know what do we need to be dodging, what do we need to be avoiding, where do we need to go. Again, you went vertical here when I really think you were better off just tucking yourself in here. Like, super jumps are really cool, don't get me wrong, but over here you had more cover, you could have kept all of your teammates on your screen. This is where you wanted to be, more so than up here.
You've got this.
Why? For scouting purposes? Huh. Okay. Okay.
Let me get you patched up.
Zarya's got the most aggressive position. Damage boost Zarya. Damage boost Zarya. Now you can boost Hanzo if you want. You're on Ashe. Fine with me. The truth is Zarya and Hanzo were both being slightly more aggressive, but I'm okay with it. No, you don't want to fight this Pharah, and you definitely don't want to fight this Pharah when your back is to this. That gives her a nice thing, even if she misses you, to get damage on you on. No, don't do this. You didn't even want to be up here. You want to turn and check if there's a reasonable way to hit that res. And now there's, okay. So your Zarya just used projected bubble, which is unfortunate. If you'd gone earlier, maybe you could have gotten that projected bubble for the res.
Damage
See
amplified.
the dragon's eyes.
I don't mind that super jump, because if you'd gone past, you'd have locked yourself too hard out of this fight, and you don't want to leave this fight yet. You're still in this. Okay.
You needed a doctor?
Damage boost. Damage boost? Damage boost. Okay.
Let's get you back out there.
Why did you come in this close? Why are you here? You're not pushing back into this as a 3v6. This is over.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Now is when you start thinking about being in this fight. But again, you don't have to be up here. It's perfectly fine to use actual cover. Like, height is some level of protection, elevation is some level of protection, but cover is better. Height is like it's harder to hit at me. You have to aim up. I'm maybe not on your screen when my friends are on your screen. If we go over here and you're Zarya, for example, it's like, okay, I'm looking at Reinhardt, so that makes it, I have to turn my screen to look at the Mercy. I have to turn my screen, so that's helpful to you. It's also, hey, you've got some distance, you're harder to see. They, fortunately, a Reinhardt can't swing at you when you're up here. There's some advantages to being up here. But cover, the Zarya just can't hit you. Zarya just can't hit you. Now, you could be worried about, oh, I don't want this Genji to come up here. So in this particular moment, yeah, not being here because of the Genji, that makes sense. But what about here? This is pretty good. We can be here. We can damage boost whoever we want. We can protect our Ana. We still have the ability to peek if we're trying for scouting information. The saving grace of you being up here is at least you can fall back here pretty easily. But I think you are over prioritizing height a bit here. Height without cover. If you had height with cover, no problem. Why are you just in the middle of this? Get behind your cover. Right or left? Okay, please adjust behind the stand here. Good, good.
Heroes never die.
This feels early on two fronts. Like, I'm not going to say the fight hasn't started because you guys have used Bob. The fight has clearly started. But if you guys hadn't used this Bob, you wouldn't call this fight started. I'd have preferred your guys to push in a little bit or them to get a little closer before you use this Valk. This is like a second earlier than I'd usually like. And you should be screaming at your team to push right now. Push, 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 push. Good. Damage boost, damage boost. I like it. I like it. Keep it going. You adjust your tether target so it keeps branching. Good. Now you should go to the Rhine. Back to your Ashe, or Hanzo, excuse me. Back to your Hanzo. You do want to keep adjusting your target to make it branch most effectively. Not like continuously adjust it, but you have some windows.
Let
Like,
me get you patched up.
okay. Why are you healing Soldier? Soldier's fine. Or Zarya, excuse me. Why are you healing Zarya? Boost Zarya. Boost Zarya. And you see how you used that early? So, like, let's go back here. And let's go back through this Valk. Here you are. You guys just used two ults. You guys are using Bob and Valk. You're using these early. But Valk is the only one you control. You break a barrier. Okay, now your team is in this fight for real. They're actually in it. And you're more than a third, you're a good 40% of the way through your Valk with your team here. Imagine if you'd started your Valk right now. Imagine that. That would be pretty great. That would be pretty great if you were just now starting your Valk. Sadly, it's not the case. You'd have way more to work with. Now it's 50%, you're pushing aggressive. Some of you guys are pushing aggressive. Oh, and now your last third of Valk mostly going to get wasted. Team's not willing to push further. So you see how that happened? Like, imagine if for that first 40% of your Valk, you'd actually been doing work. Because you popped this early, you're in this situation where you guys used both Valk and Bob, and all you got was a Lucio elimination. You invested 100% of two different ults, because you can't invest partial ults, and all you got back was a Lucio elimination. They didn't invest any ults to try to answer, and you still got the Lucio elimination. You didn't go, hey, we got Lucio, and we got Zarya, and we got Pharah, and we got Rein, so we recharge a lot of the 200% ult we used. Now, you got one elimination, and you can say, oh, but we did Zarya damage. Yeah, but that Zarya damage, well, okay, your Zarya damage will be permanent, not permanent, but it will be unmirrored ult charge because their supports already have ults, but usually that's not how you want to think about it. You want to think about it as I mean, it does get fine-tuned on whether you know their supports have their ults or not, but you guys invested a lot of ults to get one elimination, and you didn't then regain more ult for your team, not necessarily for yourself, but for your team with those ults because you didn't get eliminations. Damage, you don't usually count as ult advantage if it is able to get healed, and it is in this case. In this case, it is actually ult advantage because both supports already have their ults on the other team. Again, that's a big investment, so this was early as a Valk.
You should be at peak performance level. Spotted them.
Then you lose your Hanzo.
Mercy in the righteousness.
You went vertical when you heard the blade, fine. Okay, but that in is fine. Swap targets. Swap targets. Why are you still in the Ana, not the Zarya? Heal the little bit of the Zarya would have been better there. I promise you don't need to damage boost your Ana. I promise she's healing right now. Okay. You're using the wall better. Okay. You're actually better off damage boosting one of these two, and at this moment you'd pick Hanzo because you can see Ashe is reloading, so you'd pick Hanzo to damage boost. You can heal Zarya if you want, but I would prefer you to damage boost Zarya, or damage boost Hanzo until Zarya gets in a little more trouble. You can see that your Zarya is just under a little pressure, is going to be a little less effective than your Hanzo right now.
I'm under attack.
Now, obviously you want to be healing, triage healing your Zarya right now. Yeah.
Let me get you patched up.
Okay. That was reasonable. You didn't have a place to go for cover, so you went vertical. So you did want to go ahead and swap to your weapon here because you knew there was going to be no one to use your staff on. What you were waiting for was someone to peek you that you could GA out to. You were trying to go, hey, I think my options are go to cart or to GA out in a couple seconds, and you were kind of hoping they'd forget about you. You wanted to actually be quiet, not be dancing back and forth like you were. You did some steps back and forth, and you also wanted to swap to your pistol in case someone jumped you, because you knew you weren't going to be staffing anyone for at least 2 seconds. And now you're late. You've swapped to your pistol, but Genji's already here. This shouldn't have happened. You should have already had your pistol out. Good, and see, while you were Guardian Angeling over, you were always going to have time to swap back to your staff. Is it worth to damage boost Nano Rein instead of a DPS? Potentially. It depends on the situation. It's not just about, oh, Ashe is a good nano target, Rein, or Ashe is a good damage boost target, Rein is a bad damage boost target. It's not strictly about that. It's about where are they, what are they doing. If Ashe is reloading and Rein is swinging, Rein is going to be the better boost target. If Ashe is playing super far back and hasn't taken angles, and Rein is in there swinging, Rein might be a better damage boost target. Like, it's not just about that. You have to actually be thinking, who's being aggressive, who's doing work right now. Like, yes, conceptually these are better damage boost targets than anyone else on the team, but there's going to be times, maybe because Rein is nanoed, where you go, okay, let's make this bigger still. Or maybe because Zarya is high energy and still has personal and is getting aggressive, where you go, okay, let's damage boost this. Like, you can't just be like, these are the right heroes to damage boost. You also have to consider how aggressive are they being? How much pressure are they putting out right now? You want to amplify the person on your team that is putting out the most pressure at the moment that you're amplifying them. So, you know, if you have a Nano Rein that's like, hey, I'm swinging into 3 people, yeah, let's damage boost that. That is better than my Hanzo, who doesn't have Storm Arrow, who's playing kind of center lane mid-back, but might not be better than my Ashe, who's up on an off angle and is about to TNT. You see what I'm saying?
Fire at will.
here we are. We're back to using a little more cover, so that's good. You're triage healing the Ryan, which I can accept. Try to keep him alive until Anna can get him up to like 50-60%. This is right. It's painful to not be damage boosting the Storm Arrow, but you do have to make a decision of, hey, am I going to damage boost my Ryan swinging into this even though he's at like 40% health right now, and he's potentially going to take a lot of damage. So this is the thing where at the last moment, are you going to toggle to, this could be a damage boost, this could be a damage boost. That could have been a little damage boost where he got, 2-3 people with the swing, which might have been worth it. And his health is still okay. And then now that his swing is over, he's not hurting new people with his swing. He's in his backswing. You swap back to healing. And here you went for the damage boost. You just got the timing wrong for a moment there. And again, that could have been damage boost, and then you're back to heal for a moment. And you can see your Rhine is quite healthy. Like, your Rhine is now quite healthy, but unfortunately you were healing him through most of those big cleave multi-person swings. When he was at like 40-50%, you could have been trying to weave those damage boosts to his hammer swings. It's a skill, but it's a skill that you at some point are going to want to learn as Mercy, because even though Ryan's not a common damage boost target for you, there's situations like, hey, he's swinging into multiple people in a cleave in a grav that, yeah, he's a great damage boost target. Could you have damage boosted your Hanzo instead? Sure, but you probably wanted to stay on your Ryan because you wanted the option to be able to swap back to healing him, or you wanted to weave your healing on him between his swings.
Damage increase. Where does it hurt?
Oh boy.
Damage boost.
That was almost bad.
The idea.
Okay.
Damage amplified.
Okay. That's your scouting. I'm going to call this your scouting. That's cool. But you don't need all the enemies on your screen, so I hope you're quickly going to put allies back on your screen. What? The enemies just retreated. The enemies just retreated. Your team is back here. They're probably not going to be willing to full push forward with your Valk because the cart's close enough that they could get back capped. What is this? You're not going to get work done during this. This is too early. You needed to wait until the opponents had started to push back up more closely, or you needed your team to have been pushed up more aggressively to take this push. This is too early. Val can be one of the earlier ults to use in a fight. Like, the timing for it is earlier than the timing of, for example, an offensive Transcendence. Like, that's okay, but this is too early. This is too early.
Heroes never die.
I don't think you're going to get anything done with this.
I'm taking care of you. You should be at peak performance level.
Why is this Genji even pushing? Wow. Okay. They should have just waited out your Valk. There was no reason for them to not just wait out your Valk. Your team was not in a position that it could force value out of the Valk, but the Genji got aggressive, so your Valk wasn't completely wasted, because the Genji getting aggressive meant his team had to get aggressive, or he was throwing, and that meant your Valk contributed at least a little bit of extra power in its back half to the fight that was happening. But that's not what you should have expected to happen. That was not an anticipated outcome, and honestly, even though they did that for you, which was nice of them, for a Valk investment, again, we've effectively got one elimination here. And now our Valk is over, and we didn't even really get that elimination here, because we can actually see what happened here is, like, you didn't get offensive credit for this, which means this elimination really happened right after the Valk. And now they're going to Valk in, and they're going to have their power play window. Fortunately, your Anna has answered it with Nano, and we should be okay.
Damage increased.
But that was not that's two Valks that have not been very good. Why are you looking that way?
I am on fire. Come here
Cool.
and get
This
burned.
Genji doesn't scare me. I want to know what's going on up here. Turns out we're totally safe up here, but I wanted a moment's notice of, is there a threat up here that I need to worry about? I wanted a moment to check that because you didn't have cover between front and there. Again, a quick look to your right would make me so much more comfortable.
Where does it hurt? Damage amplified.
Okay. Totally reasonable to take high ground here. I'm going to call this a scouting super jump. Fine. Fine, because the opponent isn't running hit scan anyway. Good, and now you just changed your angle so that you have cover against the opponents, which is good. You don't need to stare at her. Oh, and it looks like your Guardian Angeling back. I don't like that. I like that you came over here where you had some cover, but I'd actually now like you to be looking more in this direction. Do you have a little more awareness of, am I going to have to drop? Is someone coming through Siege Tank? Is someone coming through here? Like, this gives you better awareness as opposed to just staring at your Ashe. You can see everything you need to, or most of what you need to about your Ashe, just from this right here. That tells you her health, which gives you a good enough feel of, do I need to damage boost or heal her? Now, there's some things that you'd still want to see, like, hey, is she throwing TNT? Is she reloading? But you're going to get other audio and visual cues for those. Even if you're looking away, you'll get enough. You're just practicing zebra jumps. Okay, you're using the pylon against them. Fine.
You should be at
Please
peak
hang to the
performance
right where you
levels.
have the option to drop. I'm concerned about your safety. Please be to the right where you have the option to drop. No, you've put yourself in a situation where now you have to go further. I wanted you here. As soon as it was clear that they were coming this way, I wanted you to get here so that you could sort of use this cover, but you could also just go, nope, peace, I'm out. That's what I wanted. Instead, you did this slow wander across, and you did it too far forward, where you're sort of stuck in this, like, well, how would I even get out situation? You have no Guardian Angel targets available to you, and that is a mistake of positioning. You don't have the option to G8 anyone to get out of this, nor do you have the option of just going, well, it's been nice knowing you, and take one step to your right and fall down here. You have no exits. You have no exits, and Mercy should never be in that situation. Vertical is not the amazing exit you think it is. It is the right thing to do against blades, yes, but it's not the amazing thing you think it is. Like, it's good. Having vertical in your kit is good. Super jumps is something that Mercies need to master so that they have that as an extra thing, because sometimes it is your best safety when no cover is available. But you should have positioned in such a way that cover was available. I hope that makes sense. Hey, AJ.
Damage increase. Right beside you.
Why are you just walking forward here? Okay, now you're going to Ashe. Please go to Ashe. Who cares about Rein? Rein has half health and isn't fighting anyone. Go up to this Ashe, who is in this nice, aggressive, high ground position behind multiple opponents. She is totally in the most aggressive position. This is who you want to be boosting. I don't care about healing my half health Rein. Ew. Now you could be triaging your Rein. Now your Rein's in more danger. But your Ashe could have already eliminated someone if you'd been up there. Here you are. You go here. Okay, your Rein did get the elimination, in which case you wanted to be damage boosting him. But, you know, like, the Ashe was the better target, I promise. Now it's here. You do swap to the damage boost for that. That's good. Now you're going to go back to healing because triage. Fine. And you want to damage boost those swings. Good, good. Right into hammer range of the enemy Rein. What was right into hammer range? Oh, when they left. Yeah, yeah.
Let me handle it. Healing stream engaged. Thank you.
There's no reason to jump there. I feel like super jump gives better angles on all allies, and I understand what's going on in the fight a lot better when I'm up. So yeah, super jumps can be useful for scouting. They can be useful for seeing, hey, what are the opponents up to, and you're getting some extra value against this team that isn't running anything that can threaten you in the sky. So I'm not totally knocking Yeah, I know where you were referring to, Mr. Tux. I'm not totally knocking super jumping. Like, super jumping is good. Sometimes it's your best way out. Sometimes it's the best way to get a res off. It can give you good scouting information. Um, but you're also not that hard to track up there. Like, your options become I can try and GA diagonally down towards someone else, I can fall with glide, or I can fall without glide. Like, you don't have the best movement options in the world, and you don't physically have cover. So, like, you get shot by things up there. And again, it's okay to do it as some scouting, but it shouldn't really be prioritized other than when you're going, hey, I need a little bit of scouting information. And how bad do you need that scouting information really? It's generally better to prioritize being able to see your teammates as Mercy, having them on your screen as multiple GA options, than it is to prioritize having the opponents on your screen. You don't need the opponents on your screen. A little bit of, hey, let me know what's going on is fine, but this is being over prioritized. Gives better angles on allies, and I understand what's going on in the fight a lot better when I'm up. But that doesn't mean that you can't super jump behind something like this, aerial cover, and then still have those angles on your allies. Like, that's fine. But also, something like this, you go, okay, I'm here, or I'm here. There's still plenty of places where you can position where you should go. Like, there's positioning changes that you can make to have your allies on your screen, to have options on your allies. Like, yes, high ground, which is effectively what a super jump is, does give you better angles. That is something that it does in general, but you can position more safely, and safety is kind of your concern as Mercy. You can, because you can project offense well behind cover, safety is a concern. You don't need aggressive angles as Mercy.
60 seconds.
We'll talk about it more as we get better examples. Okay, so we're doing this.
Damage boost engaged. Heroes never die.
That's better than the first two. Yeah, they're unlikely to want to leave. They've advanced most of the way through an open space in their rotation already. They're unlikely to go, yes, we've spent a bunch of resource to get here. We've taken damage. We've burned our way from here to here. They're unlikely to want to turn around. So this is okay. It could still be delayed about another second. Not a full second, but like 3/4 of a second. But this is the best one yet. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, there's someone in there, but is there more you can do elsewhere? A little bit, yeah. Over here. This would still be better. But, okay. And you're gonna go do that more. Good.
30 seconds
Swap it.
remaining.
Swap your... Now it's over, okay.
You should be at peak performance level. The battle continues. You should be at peak performance level.
Okay, you saw that target go down. You did. So your res should be over here. Like, you saw that that target went down. This lane is now safe. Your res shouldn't be here anymore. It should be here.
The battle continues. Thank you.
Good jump. But then you don't maintain your high ground, and because you didn't maintain your high ground, you actually don't have the options of going to the targets that you would want to.
Let's get you back out there.
Better. Turn around and check. Turn around and check on your team.
Our
Okay.
time is running out. Everyone get on defense.
No, you don't want to drop down here. You dropping down here means you're not going to have a good path back.
Damage boost engaged. I'm taking care of you.
Now you're not pocketing Ashe during the actual advance. So, like, now things are happening over here with Ashe, and the other team was advancing, and oh shoot, there's an Echo in her face, and she didn't get damage boost while the red team was rotating in. You're not here healing her through the Echo. You're not damage boosting her. Like, the team was able to do their advance more cheaply because you were down here doing low priority stuff. So, like, we take a look at this.
Our time is running out.
Damage boost here is
Everyone
actually
get on
pretty good
defense.
because they're getting advanced. Is your Zarya in any danger? Is your Ana in any danger? It would be great if they could take care of this Tracer more quickly, but they're not in danger. They can protect each other. They're both full health. That looks fine to me. Let's keep damage boosting our Ashe, and we can damage boost our Ashe from in here where we can see if they do get in danger, and we can swap over and help them if they do. Or if they have a moment where they're just melting the Tracer, they got her or something, like they hit asleep and you're like, oh, well, let me damage boost this real quick, because then you have a moment of it actually being high value. But going over to these guys now, I don't care that your Zarya took, what, 2 damage there? Who cares? I don't need to boost right clicks from a low energy Zarya that is trying and playing hide and go seek with a Tracer. No. Your Ana's not in that much danger. She's not. Your Zarya's right here.
Damage
Your
boost
Ana's close
engaged.
to her core, her Reinhardt. Like, I don't care that your Ana lost 45 or less health. And by doing this, look at all this downtime. This is worthless damage boost on the Zarya.
Taking care of you.
Now you healed your Ana, which has a little bit of value, don't get me wrong. But in all this time, the red team was able to get from here, which is a place that your Ashe could pressure them, all the way to here, with your Ashe not getting your benefit. This was all time that you were not doing the correct thing.
That is
Mm-hmm. Reasonable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right idea. Using cover. Good. Okay. You're going to let that go. Again, if you were choosing to back out, if you've written off your Hanzo, pull out your pistol.
Get them off me.
Pulled out your pistol late. No, you're just staggering yourself now. Okay, now you can boost your Rhine if you want.
Let's get you back out there.
You missed your super jump. I think you missed your super jump again, because that should have been another super jump.
Where does it
There you go.
Damage boost engaged.
So again, this also, like we were talking about super jumps before, where it's like, hey, I like the height because it gives me good angles. I do too. Height absolutely gives you good angles. But height with cover, you know, when you have height up here, you super jump to get up to high ground. That means you have those same angles, but you also have the ability to back up, to crouch, to go behind cover against the opponent's sight lines. And that's better. So, like, this is what we actually want to end up in position-wise. If we have to pick between, hey, I just have height, I have height and cover, or I just have cover, well, we do want to go, hey, I want to be able to jump to my teammates. Being able to contribute to the right teammate is important. But if there's places I can do that where I've got cover, so like we go back here, where I can boost my teammates who are poking here from back here, as opposed to from up here, that's going to be better because I can go, hey, I'm boosting these teammates. This does good work. I can still see my team and jump to whichever one I want. That's still just fine. If I'm up here, I can get shot. I can get hit by shurikens. I can get hit by Fair-Directs. I can get, discorded and shot down by Zens. We don't like that. We don't like that. They can't do that when we're here. Okay. But up here, those can't happen to us. Oh, Genji shurikens? Let me just close the angle. Fair Rocket? Don't think I'll be letting that happen. Oh, I'm discorded? Let me duck and back up a couple steps so that the high ground itself is my cover from the Zen for 3 seconds so it falls off. It's gone back and forth some with players. But because it has gone back and forth some with very high level players on both sides, But I do believe that the current lean, or at least the last time I looked, the lean was on GA prefers beam target on is more common, and that's because Mercy, when she is getting run with a hero that she's going to pretty heavily pocket. An Echo, a Pharah, an Ashe, and specifically with Echo and Pharah, she is going to want that prefer beam target because one of the advantages that you get, again, there's some debate on this, but one of the advantages that you get is, hey, you can Guardian Angel to your Pharah, even if your Pharah or your Echo went over some high ground and got it out of your way. So let's say, for example, you were following your Pharah, you Guardian Angel to your Pharah, and then your Pharah went over this before you had your Guardian Angel back, and you, because your beam is still on her, when your Guardian Angel comes back, can still GA to her. You can't do that. You simply can't do that if you GA to her, and then your Pharah did something you didn't expect and went over a piece of terrain, and you go, shoot, I can't. Because you can't actually target them for a GA.
60 seconds remaining.
It's done. Heal your Ana.
I've got you.
Fine. No, why are you this close? Why? Okay, if you can reach your Rein from here, you don't need to GA. Like, yes, you fell off the ground, but just slow fall. Just slow fall. You're still letting this thing be some cover for you. Slow fall and heal from here. You don't need to go into this.
I've got you.
You just darted through an open space that the opponents threatened. And now you've pulled yourself in close to a swinging Reinhardt. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here at all. I was much happier over here, even if I'm just slow falling over here, and I'll look this way as I'm slow falling over here to see, hey, is no one looking at me? Great, I'll stay here. Oh, someone is looking at me? Maybe now I'll GA myself over here. Why are you looking this way? Are you looking this way because you're actually going to change your tether to your Ana? That's okay, but if it's not to change your tether to your Ana, I want you to be looking this way so that you actually know, hey, or, you know, to GA to your Ana. If you're just walking away, I would much prefer that you have an understanding of where the enemies are so that you can go, oh, yeah, I don't like that, let me hop by and tier. So that you can actually meaningfully close angles on them.
I'm taking care.
A swinging bubbled Rein. The correct action is to pull out the pistol.
Well done.
Okay. But do you need this anymore? The cart's moving, and we'd like to stop the cart from moving. But we're on top of our own spawn. We're up 2. No one in your team is in that much danger. Where's your Ashe? Yeah, you know your Ashe is back here. I don't want this Valk. Like, this Valk isn't it's too early Valk. This one is we've already won the fight. If they can't trade someone back in the next 2 seconds, we're not going to need this. If they do trade someone back, sure, Valk, and you're still up 1, and you'll probably be able to get the res off.
Heroes never die.
What?
Well done. Heroes never die. Fire at will.
No, there was nothing there. I don't know who on this team you thought you were going to go after with the pistol, but okay. Okay, try not to heal these guys anymore. You've won this fight. Try not to heal them anymore. Keep it on damage boost.
Damage boost. Engage.
Damage boost. And now you can heal them.
You needed a doctor?
Why am I losing so many frames?
You should be at peak performance.
Okay. This is a good example.
You needed a doctor?
This might feel more comfortable, but it's not. This is the angle, the threat, the direction that danger is coming from. It is. Echo can shoot you up there. Tracer can shoot you up there. Zarya is going to struggle to hit you up there. But, like, This is the direction that danger is coming from, and you chose to go up here because for some reason that feels more comfortable to you, as opposed to just going, nope, I'm going to Guardian Angel over to here. And if you just Guardian Angeled all the way across, instead of doing a super jump, just do the little, no crouch regular jump, you'd have ended up over here. You'd still be able to pick whatever target you wanted to damage boost. You'd still have the option to GA further if you got into more danger, or to GA back this way if you got into more danger. You'd have the option to pick your allies basically just as easily as you can from up here. You wouldn't be able to see exactly what these guys are doing, but you don't have to. In fact, you don't have to see what's going on here. It would probably be more useful for your team for you to be looking in this direction and be like, hey, I'm a set of eyeballs that can see early if the Tracer is coming through one of these ways, if the Winston is sneaking through one of these ways. This is like, I want to know what's going on. Why? Why do you want to know what's going on? Like, I get that you want to, I get that you're curious, but that's not actually useful scouting information for you. Like, your team needs to know what's going on, but your team has eyeballs. You need to ward a different direction, to borrow language from another game.
You should be at peak performance level.
Okay, now you're over here. Oh, you were using it to get here. Okay, I take it back. That's fine then. I'd still like more looking in the other direction, but hey.
10 seconds remaining.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being attacked.
Why are you not looking at the threat?
I've got it. What's better? You needed a doctor. Helden sterben nicht.
There's no way the pistol was right there. You have way too many allies alive that you can pick to boost instead.
Mainstream engaged.
I mean, that's your Ana. You have better damage boost targets. You can heal your Ana, but I honestly would just damage boost a different target. You had better damage boost targets a second ago. Okay. There's your McCree. That's where you wandered off to. Okay, you were trying for that. Fine. Okay, so micro these. Good. Yeah, you're trying to micro them. That's good. Now you're gonna have to leave. You're gonna just do a regular shift past that Zarya. Good. Good.
Let's get you back in the fight.
And you're just gonna Valk.
Heroes never die. This way.
Okay. So things that we're looking at here
Score.
are definitely going to include our Valks. We are mostly Valking too early when it's easy for them to drain our Valk. Our Valk isn't getting real value. We're not replenishing our Valk by replenishing our team's ult bank by getting eliminations for our team. We're doing it in situations where they can just wait out the Valk or kite the Valk. Now, they're not always doing it, but we're doing it in situations that are too early, and I hope that we recognize how they're too early. We want to do them after the opponent has already invested some level of resources. That might be they've rotated most of the way through open space, so they've been poked down, and now you're increasing the poke, so backing out would be hard for them. That might be my team is already running at them and is close. You don't want to do it as late as you would do a Transcendence or a Beat, because a Transcendence or a Beat are more in the realm of I can let my team actually get weak and then pop my ult to sustain them. Valk, you do want to pop when your team still has most of its health, so that you get to do more damage boost, and because 60 health per second is not 300 health per second, or an extra 800 HP or whatever. Like, it's not as bursty. So you do want to do it earlier than you do these, but yours are too early. The opposing teams are not committed yet on a lot of your Valks. Okay. The other thing that we're seeing is, again, we want to prioritize cover, even if it's aerial cover, but access to actual cover over just being in the sky. We don't have to see the opponents ourselves. That's one of the cool things about Mercy. She can boost someone or heal someone who is interacting with the opponent without being exposed to the opponent herself. Going in all these super jumps in the open puts us in some of these situations where we're going, I can see stuff, and that makes me feel comfortable, but we're actually exposing ourselves to opponents. Again, it's safer against this composition because they weren't running any hit scan for you. And so I'm going to knock it less hard, and I do like it when you super jump yourself up to cover, and super jump is also sometimes the right option when there isn't cover available and you need to be pocketing someone. Like super jumps are not strictly wrong, and super jumping up to, hey, I have a platform, super jumping up behind that pylon when the pylon itself was the cover, that can be okay, but I want us to be thinking a little bit more critically about this and doing a little bit more of a, okay, I could super jump up here. Let me rephrase that. I could super jump up here, or I could glide over to here and still boost my Ash or whatever the case may be. And that cover is going to be better for me than being up here. Hope that makes sense. Those are two things that we're seeing. We've also seen some things with the pistol where we're writing off fights or we're waiting for a teammate to show up and we don't have our pistol out when we should. That's not going to make a huge difference, but eventually that'll be a difference maker.
Don't worry, my friend.
Damages engaged.
Let me catch up on chat real quick. We do a little League of Legends. Start a res in front of him. Hey man, I'm the Gold Hanzo. Doomfist you reviewed. Thank you. I've been practicing a ton. You're a hero. Hey, glad to hear it helped. Glad to hear you got value out of that. Good luck, man. We should get a list of other games Temporal plays. I guess we have LOL and D3 to start. Trails, guys. Trails in the Sky, Trails of Cold Steel, Persona 5. I do me some RPGs. Do you have time for another review after this? No, I don't, Game Buster. I've got another session after this. It's not a review weekend without a Game Buster review. I might be able to do one later, but it's going to be a couple hours from now later. Or I can do one tomorrow morning. That's fine. That probably works better for us syncing up schedule-wise. I can't help but try to force engagements with Valk when I see opportunity. Yeah, but you need to be shouting at your team to engage. Like, push, 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 I'll Valk. Like that. That's what you want to do. You don't want to Valk to tell your team to go in. You want to Valk as your team is not just starting, but as your team is going in, before they've spent real resources, though. Before they've lost health, but as they're going in. I understand, though. You want them to push, and, sometimes you do that anyways. Even though I'm saying that's the wrong thing to do, sometimes you are going to do that because you shouting on comms is doing nothing. They're not on comms, and they really have to push, and you can't just sit on your Valk all game, and you need your team on offense to push, and you're hoping the Valk will inspire it. I get it, but you've been on defense this whole time. I'm going to check that round up to them having Mercy Lucio and Urian having silly amounts of healing pumped into him. Kinda, yeah. I have to do my own work, but I stopped by to hand out salt licks until Temporal is selling himself short. I'm certain he has all the brain parts. Temp is the man. Thank you, Angry Llama. For those of you that don't know, Angry Llama is stirring up controversy. We saw that post. If you guys want to go visit the subreddit or head directly over to his channel, stirring up controversy with the meta reviews of the reviews going on. Reviews of reviews of reviews. So you guys should check that out.
I have found the enemy turret ahead.
Gladiator needs Temporal. It would help. It would help. I'm not sure they can afford me, but it would help, Ash Phoenix Gaming. Can't tomorrow, but it's fine. There'll be another day. Sounds good, Game Buster. Sorry I can't fit you in the next hour or two. Okay, so Armor is pushing.
You should be at peak performance level. Let's get you back out there.
Got the hot hand. Group up here.
I've got you. I'm taking care of you.
You got it, Blah. You found it out. Okay. So, again, that's another case, this right here, where this is not better. This right here is not better, and now they have a Tor. That turret is a hit scan for you. The Echo could hit you. The Orisa has the ability to shoot you in the sky and then halt you to stop you from getting out. This is just better. This is just better. You can still see everyone that you want to interact with, but you have cover. You don't need to interact with the opposing team. That's not how your staff work. Your staff doesn't interact with the opposing team. It interacts with your team.
Don't let up on them. Where does it hurt?
Focus my target.
Join me. Thank you.
This is better though. This doesn't bother me. You have the statue as your cover. Okay. I'd rather you heal your Anna than your Rhine here. Your Rhine's gonna be fine.
Your support has arrived.
Damage reducing Usaria works for me. Okay. That actually gives you different targeting options by being up there, so I'm gonna be fine with it. Heal the Ashe first. Heal the Ashe. Now do it. Good. Good recognition of when the D.Va looked away.
Heroes never die.
This is trying to Valk to recover a little, but you're up. This was fine. Are you respecting? No, that's yours. Fine. That was fine.
Don't stop
You
now.
probably could have won that fight without it, but that put it away, and it wasn't a strong probably.
I'm here. Damage amplified.
My objective A captured. Escort the payload.
Get me.
There you go, Blah.
Healing stream engaged.
I'm sure your dog will be happy to have a bath. I'm not sure of that. Some dogs are okay with baths. A lot of them don't love them. I'm sure you will be happy you've given your dog a bath, though.
Enemy turret destroyed.
Okay, so this Ashe is being really aggressive, and I actually like this decision. I like the decision here to keep healing your Ashe rather than to heal your teammates. Unfortunately, your Anna kept walking into danger there, so now that's going to be a problem. Now you're potentially going to have to do, hey, I have to do some Rhine healing to try to extend this battle, because my Ashe will get more work done simply by having my Rhine alive than she will by me boosting her. So it's unfortunate, but you are going to have to go try to keep your Rhine propped up now. Or you're going to count on your Ashe to carry.
You need your drop.
Okay. Yeah, now your Ashe is your best option. Oh, unfortunate. What is your Ashe doing? Was in so much better of a spot before. You missed your tether swap there. You clearly wanted to heal your Ashe, not your Zarya.
Performance levels.
Enemy turret destroyed.
That's unfortunate. That was interesting.
Taking care of.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Damage amplified.
You're going up?
Honor.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to look at that threat back there? No. Mm-hmm.
You've got this.
Why am I losing so many frames? Okay. I'll have to do a restart after this one.
No payment required.
Starting over.
Temporal
from the
Dog
beginning.
review when. That could be fun.
Ain't finished yet.
I'm taking care of you. Get them off me.
Okay.
Let me get you patched up. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Tuck bind cover. Yep.
Heroes never die.
Mark on my target.
Much obliged.
We make a great team. Healing stream engaged.
Now see what I can do.
Yeah. It's a lot of fighting the Tracer. You've done this a couple times now. Again,
Healing stream engaged.
height is good, Cover is better. You've now put yourself in range of the Tracer without your Guardian Angel available, so your only option is to just fall or fight her. Your options are fall slow, fall fast, or fight her. You're choosing to fall slow and fight her? Yeah, that was not correct. It's an example of cover better than height, but
Starting over from the beginning.
oh, you. That's funny, Blood.
Payload has come to a halt. Get it moving.
Where does it hurt?
Go right, close the angle. Okay.
Damage boost engaged. Where does it hurt?
You don't need to be up there with your Reinhardt. That's putting you too close to the fight. Cover. Now out. You're not okay.
This is not your time.
Right idea. Good.
Been down.
Oh no, you overshot. This Tracer's on low ground, so you want to be on high ground now.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Don't do it, don't do it!
Heroes never die.
Yeah. No, no, no. I understand why you went for that Valk, but it was a tight calculation, but the calculation was to try for the reset, not the Valk there. And the res was just never going to happen. I mean, like, it was never going to turn that fight. Okay.
Victory.
I'm not going to change my takeaways here. Definitely we should comment on, hey, that's a lot of Tracer fights that you got into. Kind of foolishly got into. Like, why are you going and challenging Tracers? That's silly. You're going and challenging Tracers outside your spawn. Like, the one outside your spawn was a little more acceptable, but you still want to think of it from a standpoint of, I'm going to challenge this Tracer. Okay, I do have teammates here who can help me, but is this really right? Like, once your Ana was there, it became more okay, but I'm challenging this Tracer. I'm using a Zarya bubble to do it. You did get recall, though, so we'll call it a win. But then some of the later stuff, you just need to be a little more aware of, wait, I don't want to be up here if the Tracer's up here. I want to get somewhere else with real cover against the Tracer. And then some of the, I'm going to go drop down to help my Ana. Could we drop down less to go help our Ana? That's putting us in danger. We know the Tracer's off the high ground, so now we want the high ground because it's going to protect us better. Like, we want to do a little bit more of, hey, if the Tracer will stay low, we're a little more interested in high. We still have to be aware of the Echo when we're high, but we want to pay a little bit more attention to that. We want to pay a little bit more attention to this cover. They did form a good team here to hunt you down with the Tracer and the Echo. The two things that I'm going to actually recommend you work on, though, are going to be those Valks. That is going to see the help. Your Valks are just a little too early. You can get more value defensively out of them if you time those a bit better. And then I am going to say the positioning. It's going to be more for cover. Height is good. Height is great. Height with cover, like high ground is great because it's both height, which gives you those angles that you want, lets you see your team, and gives you cover and protects you from Tracers on low ground, things like that. But that's actual high ground. Height protects you a little bit. It's better than just being in the open, but it's not as good as actual cover, as long as from that actual cover, you have multiple outs that you can go to with your Guardian Angel. And anytime that you go, hey, I'm going to just go take height, you don't have, that doesn't have cover, you've taken this height, you're in the open where you can be shot, and you did put your Guardian Angel on cooldown to get this height. So you're vulnerable. You can't necessarily go somewhere. Now, you put your Guardian Angel on cooldown for a moment to go behind cover too, but you at least had cover. You Guardian Angel to a place because it gave you momentary cover against something, so you should have it back before the Tracer is able to show up, even if they show up quickly to chase you to make you want a Guardian Angel again. You Guardian Angel up here, you can start taking damage immediately. So, like, cover. We think of this as high ground is amazing. Cover is kind of what we want next. And then the next best option is just raw height. Like that's sort of how we want to think about this. And factoring into all of these, like this is the hierarchy, but the level to the hierarchy, we still do want to factor in how many of our allies can we see? How many people do we have on our screen that we can interact with, either with our staff or with our guardian angel? Okay, I hope that helped. If you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat now, and I'll be happy to answer what I can. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really helps out quite a bit, and I do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below, see what the rates look like, all that good stuff. So again, work on those one at a time. That's going to be how you get the most value out of this for this Mercy player. Work on them one at a time, 5 to 15% of your brain power. That's how you're going to want to do it. We can delay those Valks a little bit more to make them more powerful, and we can change how we think about positioning of it. It's very good to have the super jumps in your kit. It is very, very good to have those super jumps in a kit. Those are something you need to be able to do on demand, under pressure or not under pressure. And I think I only saw you flinch under pressure once or twice with those super jumps. So that's very good. I'm not saying super jumps are bad. You don't need to learn them. You definitely do, but you need to learn them, and you need to do them a lot to get perfect control over them so that you can do them when you need them. But just because you need to spend a lot of time practicing them doesn't mean they're something that you go to a ton in matches. They're something you use in matches, but not all the time. Okay. Tolerates the bath, expresses anger to the wife by shaking. Yeah, sounds like a dog. Mostly wet dog. Waiting for the right moment. Okay. Do I have thoughts on the experimental card? Yeah, I did a video on it. You should go check it out. Mercy is not the natural counter to Glacier. To Tracer. Cool. Okay. Do you think I would get more value from picking other supports in this particular game? No, Mercy was fine in this particular game. I don't have any issue with you having picked Mercy in this game. You had double hit scan the whole time. Both of these heroes absolutely love having the Mercy. Could you have picked a Brig once you started to see this, for example, to protect your Ana from this? Yeah, I suppose, but who cares? Could you have picked Lucio to enable these two? Absolutely. That would have been fine. But you were totally fine on Mercy. That didn't at all hold this back. This was not a game where swapping would have been like, oh, 20% better or anything like that. Gonna give it another second for questions. Give it another second for questions. And I think we are good to go. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.